the intrepid, the peripatetic Pat Forde. Pat Forde, Yahoo Sports, national college football, basketball columnist. If there's a scandal, you'll find Pat Forde outside your door. He joins us now. Good morning, Pat.
Good morning, Dan.
All right.
Thankfully, I'm not outside your door.
No, I don't want to see you outside my door. 3 rule changes that could help save college basketball. You're covering this scandal, the FBI investigation. So I give you the floor.
All right. I think that just judging by what Mark Emmert had to say Saturday, I think that there is an acknowledgement now of a broken system, a failed ability to police the system, and they're going to have to do some things differently. And I think one of the things that certainly he sounded open to is letting players have agents while they're in college.
Okay.
And, it's been done in hockey. It's been done in baseball. So maybe it's time to look at doing that in basketball and probably in football as well. Beyond that, I think there's going to be a strong push to get the NBA on board with eradicating the one-and-done rule and letting players go pro out of high school, or having them do a similar baseball sort of thing where they if they come to school, they're going to stay in school for 2 or 3 years. Thirdly, I think this would be a tougher sell probably with the college sports membership, but something that should be considered is name, image, likeness, and or endorsements. Similar to the Olympic model, let players be able to, make an appearance and get some money for that, to have a sponsor, that sort of thing. I think that would be the toughest sell, but I think it's something else that should be considered just to simply avoid the charade that we're uncovering here in the last few months.
Where is this story right now?
It's still actually, I think, fairly much in the incubation stages. There's so much more to know. We viewed documents from one guy who works at one agency, and it's a pretty narrow swath of time for that guy. And there's 20 schools and 25 players at least implicated, and a whole bunch of middlemen and sneaker people and financial advisors. And so if the scope of it is, infinitely bigger than that, others involved, other agencies, other shoe companies, et cetera, how big can this thing go? The question is, what's the Fed's appetite for this? Do they want to try to find all of it, or do they want to find enough that they make a point and, arrest right now 4 people, but if it are 10 people, if it turns out to be 20, 30, 40, what's their appetite?
What kind of impact do you think it has on this March Madness?
Well, certainly casts a cloud on it, but I don't know whether it'll be anything tangible on the court other than Texas has withheld one of its players, Eric Davis. San Diego State has withheld one of theirs, Malik Pope. But those 2 teams may not make the tournament. In terms of, is Wendell Carter, who was named in the documents, going to play? It appears so. Is Kevin Knox from Kentucky going to play? It appears so. DeAndre Ayton, it appears he's going to play at this point. Things could change, but I think other than people talking about it and coaches and players having to answer questions about it, I think the show will go on pretty much as advertised.
Ayton plays against Oregon. Sean Miller doesn't coach. What's that say about both in this situation?
Well, it's interesting. I think that the fact that Ayton played was significant. Certainly the fact that Miller did not coach is also significant. And I think his situation is very fluid and is kind of going to be apprised day to day here. They play again, obviously, this week. Ayton playing tells me that there's nothing that the school has tangible that says you definitively accepted anything. It's not all completely cut and dried, I don't think, but they feel comfortable at least putting him out there. They've vetted him. This goes back to September. They've interviewed him. The FBI's interviewed him. There's been a lot of homework done on DeAndre Ayton, so I kind of expect to see him continue to play.
Have you heard the wiretap where Sean Miller is alleged to be offering the $100,000 to Ayton?
I've heard no wiretaps.
Will that be available?
Don't know. I have no idea. What?
Well, how did we find out about the wiretap in the first place?
That was ESPN reporting, so I'm not sure what the methodology was there, what went into that story. We viewed documents is what we did.
Here's my concern with all of this, Pat, is that our attention span is so small that this feels like it's really important now. I don't know how important it's going to be. And I don't know in a week from now with conference tournament play, then March Madness, you got NFL stuff with the Combine, you got Major League Baseball. It's important today. I don't know how important it is tomorrow. And then we move on to another story. Do you fear that?
No, that's a great point. We have a very short attention span, and there's 9 million things competing for our attention, and so it's easy for things to come in one ear and be out the other in a couple of days. As you said, somebody's going to hit a buzzer beater in a Big Ten game, and we're going to be talking about that. And I just say, oh, this is fun. Look how great this game is, blah, 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 blah. And next week's going to be more with the conference tournaments. There's so much else going on. And this is complicated, slow stuff. Do people want to stick with a story that is complicated and slow developing? Maybe not, but I am quite sure the story's not going away. It may just go dormant for a while, and then things pop back up at later points.
But I liken this to what happened with baseball. The commissioner tried forever to get drug testing and, bring these guys in, and then all of a sudden Congress got involved in it. And then we saw movement there, progress there, and people held accountable. The NCAA has said, well, yeah, we were aware of this and we've heard stories about it, but they're toothless. The FBI comes in, now all of a sudden, game on. Can you see a parallel here between those two?
Sure. Yeah. I think it's the best thing that could have happened is that this became a legal matter. And you can quibble over the legality and whether this is what the FBI should be doing with its time. But if you're a college sports fan and you want to know what's really happening out there, this is what's really happening. And this is how it took the FBI and it took the Southern District of New York Attorney's Office to get to this stuff. So sometimes I think the NCAA is so hamstrung by its membership and by itself that you need somebody else to come in and shake up the works and kind of get things moving. And I think that's a possibility that we're at a stage where something like this, when you can throw down documents and at least suggest, this isn't proving, but suggests, okay, there's tens of thousands of dollars going to a lot of different guys out there. Maybe we need to change some things up.
You know what I'm smelling right now?
What's that?
A sequel to Blue Chips. What do you think?
Get your agent on it. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Just throwing it out there. You know what? If there's a role for a reporter, then I might cast you as that reporter.
Can you put a word in for me?
Yeah, I will.
That'd be good.
I will.
All right.
If not, then maybe Andy Katz gets the role. I don't know. Or Jeff Goodman. So I don't know, Pat. But I'll hold out hope for you. All right? Patino. I could use Patino.
I will knock him out in the audition.
Patino as an extra. I could have him as a coach.
Oh, he'd do it.
He's got time. Thank you, Pat. We appreciate your time.
All right. Thank you, Dan.
That's the national college football and basketball columnist from Yahoo Sports, our good friend Pat Forde.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.